Hey VC, it's Jonathan, the cheap and cheerful record collector. Hope everybody's doing well out there today. Now we're getting to be sort of the end of the year, and I see a lot of people are doing year-end reviews. They're doing the best records released in 2024, the best finds of 2024, etc., etc. I decided to do a little differently, so I'm doing my best blind buys of 2024. A blind buy is exactly what it sounds like. It's a record or a band or a artist I've never heard of before. Something about the cover maybe struck me, so I decided to buy it. It may be on a label that I like a lot, so I said, oh, if it's on that label, I'll try it. Or there may be a musician, as a backup musician that I know and respect, so I said, I'll try that record out. I do a lot of digging at Goodwill. If you know my channel, you know that's my thing. There are like 4 Goodwills within 15, 20 minutes of my house, and I hit them up on a regular basis. So 90% of these are from Goodwill. 1 or 2 I got elsewhere, but let's get into it. The first album I'm going to show is a record I picked up, and you'll see the cover and you'll know immediately why I had to have it. And it's a record called The Hokum Boys. You Can't Get Enough of That Stuff. Covered by R. Crumb. And when you see that, you gotta grab it. I really didn't realize what I was getting at the time. When I first grabbed it, I thought it was new recordings, but it's actually, the Hokum Boys were recording in the 1920s. This is all from 1929. The Hokum Boys were actually Tampa Red, who I knew the name, Ike Robinson and Thomas Dorsey, I'm sorry. Is a compilation of their early 1929 recordings. Very off-color, very sexual, a lot of sexual innuendos in these songs. Very blues-oriented, but fantastic. And really glad to have this in my collection. This is on Yazoo Records. I'll quickly show that Yazoo label. This is the Yazoo Peacock label. And I love that old-timey music. And really glad to have this in the collection. Songs such as You Can't Get Enough of That Stuff, Put Your Mind on It, Went to His Head, We Don't Sell It Here No More, Ain't Going That Way, Selling That Stuff, etc. Really great. The Hokum Boys, Can't Get Enough of That Stuff. Next one I found, this I didn't get at Goodwill, this I got at a store in New York City last summer when I was visiting. And again, I saw the cover and I said, I gotta have it. It's called Eden and John's East River String Band. Again, another cover by R. Crumb. And this is Be Kind to a Man When He's Down. Again, I saw the cover by R. Crumb, so I figured it got to be interesting. It's new record, fairly 2011. And on the record, playing with them is R. Crumb, as well as Dom Flemons. Dom Flemons you might know from the Carolina Chocolate Drops, as well as he's on his own now doing lots of great music. This is on nice yellow label, the yellow vinyl, I mean. And it's it's a string band. It's a great 1920s style string band music. Yeah, what else can I say? Going to tip it out tonight. So Sorry Dear, Fare Thee Well Blues, Be Kind to a Man When He's Down, Old Black Dog Medley, Swanee River. Great stuff. Be Kind to a Man When He's Down. Eden and John's East River String Band. Another blind buy. I just know this is a Goodwill one. I picked this up. Again, had no idea what it was. It looked interesting. It's a band called Farquhar. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Farquahr. This was recorded and released 1970. It's sort of soft rock, folk rock kind of stuff. Pretty nice. And it was interesting. They call themselves, it's sort of like the Traveling Wilburys, where they made up names. So one guy is Barn Swallow Farquhar, Hummingbird Farquhar, Condor Farquhar, Flamingo, etc. And this is on Elektra, the Butterfly label. Came with a sheet with the lyrics on it, which I always like. So yeah, again, blind buy for $2. I figured I'll give it a shot, and it's pretty good. Not fantastic, but pretty damn good. Next one is a band I, again, never heard of, but like the cover, like the name. So I grabbed it. It's a band called the Widowmaker. Turns out they're a UK band, sort of heavy metal, hard rock, not heavy metal, hard rock, from 1976. Just spun this before I made this video. Pretty decent, not fantastic, but not bad at all. 1976 hard rock out of England. Steve Ellis, who I don't know, Paul Nichols, Ariel Bender, and Bob Daisley on Jet Records, part of United Artists. So, anybody know anything about them? Let me know. Widowmaker. Another UK album I picked up, also at Goodwill, and again, can't pass these things up. Called Matchbox. Turns out they're a UK rockabilly band. Love the pictures of the guys there. And this is a great album. This I really enjoyed. Recorded in Holland in 1976 on the Charlie label, which is a UK label. And they do a lot of classic rock songs, Matchbox, Let's Go Crazy, Raisin with the Devil, Three Alley Cats, Baby Let's Play House, Ghost Riders in the Sky. Really fun stuff. Matchbox. Next one. I guess I should have heard of this man. I didn't, and I'm glad I grabbed it. And it's Danny Gatton, and this is Redneck Jazz, a record he put out in 1978. Great guitar player, just ridiculously great. On this gold vinyl. When you see a gold vinyl record at Goodwill, like that, you got to take it home with you. And I'm really glad I did, because he can play, or he could play. I guess he was from the D.C. area, and unfortunately he committed suicide. So it ended that, obviously, but shame, because it was a great player. I really enjoyed this record. Danny Gatton, Redneck Jazz. Speaking of guitar players, here's another one. Again, I saw this, and the only reason I picked this up is that it's on Flying Fish Records. Whenever I see anything on Flying Fish, I grab it. And this is Eric Thompson and Alan Sanook. 2 guitars. Again, I see something like this, and I say I got to take it home and see what it sounds like. And again, I'm glad I did. Great stuff on Flying Fish. There's the Flying Fish label. So there are certain labels I'll always grab if the price is right, and it probably paid less than $2 for this. I looked him up, and it turns out that Eric Thompson, this came out in 1986, by the way. He was in a band originally way back when called the Black Mountain Boys with Jerry Garcia and Dave Nelson from New Riders of the Purple Sage. He also won the Flat Picker World Championship Cup in Union Grove, North Carolina at one time. So that's kind of picking he is. It's really great folk guitar picking, both these guys. So a great find. Love that. Next one, I saw this record at Goodwill, and again, knew nothing about it. Looked interesting. Figured I would give it a shot. And it is a guy called John Lincoln Wright and the Sour Mash Review. This is his album, You Can't Get There From Here. This is his 1981 release. Took it home, spun it. I thought it was great. There's Lincoln Wright. Turns out he's from Maine, from Sanford, Maine. Not too far from me. And I liked it so much. They had another one, and I was hoping they'd still have it. I went back the next day, and it was still sitting there. And this was his earlier one, John Lincoln Wright and the Sour Mash Boys. And this is Taking Old Route 1. And this was recorded in 1977. And, yeah, it's just like what it sounds like. Country music, country rock, some great stuff there. John Lincoln Wright and the Sour Mash Boys. I guess George Nelson plays guitar on here. Who else? Don't know these guys, but so good, so good. George Lincoln Wright. Next one. This one I picked up not that long, last month I think it was, at Goodwill, flipping through, and it's all, Barbara Streisand and Robert Goulet and all that junk you see all the time. And then something like this pops up and you go, well, that looks interesting. Sam and Steve follow the ODs. No idea, but I love the cover. I can't find anything on these guys. Can't find a date or anything on Discogs, on Google or anything. I think it's a private label pressing called Paradise Records. I don't know if they're from Maine or it's a local thing. I have no idea. But a really fun album. They do Charlie the MTA, Knoxville Girl, Fire on the Mountain, Rocky Top, Truck Driving Man. Just great country folk. Oh, nice find. Next one. Here's a guy who is just, again, blown away by this guy. Never heard of him. And now I got to look for more albums by him because he had a bunch. And it's Marcel Dadi. And this is his album, Walking the Strings. So again, I see a record like this at Goodwill for less than $2 or $2. I got to take it home with me. And he's turns out he was born in Tunisia, French-Jewish parents. This 1976 record, fantastic guitar player, just like really, really amazing stuff. Turns out he died in January 1996 of a TWA Flight 800 leaving New York that crashed and died and killed everybody on board. He was 45 years old. He has a bunch of other albums out. I haven't seen any, but I'm definitely have my eye out for anything by him. And it's just a finger-picking guitar that's just fantastic. The liner notes on the back were written by Stefan Grossman, who I have a number of Stefan Grossman's albums, who's a great guitar player too. And I figure if he's good for Stefan Grossman, he's good for me. So Marcel Dadi, be on the lookout if you like that guitar picking, because he can pick. All right, now I got a couple of jazz albums that I found. Again, this one, a guy I never heard of, but I love the cover. Thought it looked very classic stuff. Mr. Roberts Plays Guitar. 1957 on Verve, the yellow Verve Clef series label. Very cool. And a very traditional jazz guitar player. There was not really a lot of information on the back of this. So I really didn't know much about him. Turns out he's a West Coast guy, spent more time teaching than playing. An educator, wrote a number of books on guitar playing, and really glad to have this one. You know, I love my jazz. I love my jazz guitar playing, and he's a great one. So Mr. Roberts Plays Guitar. And the last one I'm going to show on my blind buys is a post-bop jazz album from the Richard Sussman Quintet called Free Fall. And again, knew nothing about him. Still don't know. I haven't really looked into him deeply. On Inner City Records, great label. Real traditional post-bop. He plays acoustic piano. There's a trumpet, a couple saxophones, bass and drums. Good stuff. Really good stuff. So there. Those are all my blind buys for not all the blind buys for this year, but those are some of the better blind buys I picked up. You're going to pick up stuff, you're going to listen to it, and you're going to go, not for me, and you dump it. But again, for $1 or $2, I'm willing to take a chance on stuff I don't know. And I definitely urge you to go out there and look for stuff you don't know, especially if the price is right, and give it a shot, because you never know what you're going to stumble across, like that Danny Gatton record, which is fabulous, or the Marcel Dadi, which is great. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate that. And if I don't talk to you again before the holidays, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate that. Cool Kwanzaa to people who celebrate that. And if I don't talk to you till next year, happy New Year. And until next time, peace.